Not My Best Side by UA Fanthrope. Not my best side, I'm afraid. The artist didn't give me a chance to pose properly. And as you can see, poor chap, he had this obsession with triangles. So he left off two of my feet. I didn't comment at the time. What, after all, are 2 feet to a monster? But afterwards, I was sorry for the bad publicity. Why? I said to myself, should my conqueror be so ostentatiously beardless and ride a horse with a deformed neck and square hooves? Why should my victim be so unattractive as to be inedible? And why should she have me literally on a string? I don't mind dying ritually, since I always rise again. But I should have liked a little more blood to show they were taking me seriously. Not My Best Side is a witty and modern reinterpretation of the story of Saint George and the Dragon, often depicted in traditional artworks. Fanthrope presents a tale from the perspectives of the three main characters, the dragon, the maiden, and the hero, Saint George, each offering a unique monologue that questions conventional roles and archetypes. Before going to the poem, let's see the story of St. George and the Dragon. St. George and the Dragon is a legend about a brave knight who saves a town from a terrible dragon. The dragon demands sacrifices, and when the town runs out of animals, they start offering people. One day, the king's daughter is chosen as a sacrifice. As she faces a dragon, St. George arrives, fights the beast, and kills it, saving the princess and the town. Everyone celebrates, and many people are inspired by his bravery. The story symbolizes the triumph of good over evil. Now, let's check out the poem. The poem opens with the dragon's perspective, where it questions its portrayal in the famous St. George and the Dragon artwork. The dragon's voice is ironic and humorous, pointing out that it doesn't look as fierce as it would like, expressing dissatisfaction with its appearance and seeming more concerned with how it looks rather than fulfilling a traditional dragon role. This self conscious and almost narcissist creature is far from the typical fierce and terrifying dragon seen in folklore. Through this, Fanthrope subverts the traditional image of the dragon as a monstrous figure and instead presents it as an insecure, almost comical character. The dragon's monologue raises questions about appearance versus reality and pokes fun at the vanity and insecurities people often have regarding their looks. It's hard for a girl to be sure if she wants to be rescued. I mean, I quite took to the dragon. It's nice to be light, if you know what I mean. He was so nicely physical with his claws and lovely green skin and that sexy tail and the way he looked at me. He made me feel he was all ready to eat me. And any girl enjoys that. So when this boy turned up wearing machinery on a really dangerous horse, to be honest, I didn't much fancy him. I mean, what was he like underneath the hardware? He might have ache, acne, blackheads, or even bad breath for all I could tell. But the dragon, well, you could see all his equipment at a glance. Still, what could I do? The dragon got himself beaten by the boy, and the girl's got to think of her future. The maiden's perspective follows, offering a surprising take on her expected role. Traditionally, the maiden in such tales is portrayed as helpless, passive, and grateful to be rescued. However, Fanthrope's maiden expresses dissatisfaction with her role and doubts her rescuer's heroism. She doesn't see St. George as the ideal hero and is more intrigued by the dragon, showing a preference for the excitement and unpredictability unpredictability it represents. The maiden's voice is flirtatious, questioning why she must conform to being rescued and suggesting a desire for freedom and agency in her own story. This reflects a critique of the way women are often portrayed in art and literature as passive characters with little choice. Fanthrope uses the maiden's monologue to explore themes of independence, gender roles, and the restrictive expectations society places on women. I have diplomas in dragon management and virgin reclamation. My horse is the latest model with automatic transmission and built in obsolescence. My spear is custom built and my prototype armor still on the secret list. You can't do better than me at the moment. I'm qualified and equipped to the eyebrow. So why be difficult? Don't you want to be killed and or rescued in the most contemporary way? Don't you want to carry out the roles that sociology and myth have designed for you? Don't you realize that by being choosy, you are endangering job prospects in the spear and house building industries? What, in any case, does it matter what you want? You are in my way. The hero. Here, St. George's perspective presents in a rather unflattering light. Far from being a noble or selfless knight, he seems preoccupied with his armor, his image, and the technicalities of his role. His monologue reveals him to be arrogant, perhaps even oblivious, and more interested in fulfilling the appearance of heroism than in genuinely heroic actions. He views the whole scenario as an opportunity to flaunt his status and is dismissive of the maiden's individuality and autonomy. This portrayal of St. George highlights the satirical tone of the poem. Fanthrope uses the hero's monologue to critique traditional masculinity, suggesting that the concept of heroism is often more about appearance and social expectations than actual valor or virtue. Through St. George, Fanthrope questions societal constructs of heroism, pointing out the shallow nature of conventional male archetypes. So, to sum up, Not My Best Sight is a clever and humorous poem that reimagines a classic story through a contemporary critical lens. By allowing each character to speak for themselves, Fanthrope exposes the absurdity and limitations of traditional roles in mythology and folklore. The dragon's insecurity, the maiden's independence, and St. George's vanity collectively critique societal expectations around appearance, gender, and heroism. The poem ultimately encourages readers to question the roles and stereotypes that society imposes on individuals and to recognize the complexity behind what may seem like simple archetypes. In doing so, Fanthrope's poem becomes a commentary on individuality, agency, and the ways in which people are often confined by societal expectations.